Greg, thanks so much. President Obama is demanding Congress immediately pass a package of tax cuts and revenue sharing that he said is urgently needed to break the back of the high unemployment that's crippling America. Mr. Obama's plan asks for funds to build schools, demolish vacant housing, and help states hire much-needed police and teachers. Congressman Tim Griffin joins us this morning from Washington to talk about the American Jobs Act. Good morning to you, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
So we know this is a $447 billion package of tax cuts. Reaction obviously split among party lines, but let's start with what you did like about the president's speech last night. Anything that you totally agree with?
Well, he talked about a lot of different things, both in terms of this jobs bill that he is interested in passing, having us pass. But he also talked about a series of proposals that he's going to send in about a week and a half. That's where I heard some things that I could agree with, such as fundamental tax reform and addressing some of the entitlements and also addressing Medicare so that we can save it for the next generation. He mentioned that. No specifics really on it. But in terms of the jobs bill that he talked about last night, it is, as you indicated, another $500 billion. And we're still getting some details on it, but it appears to be just like the first stimulus. And in my view, that's not going to provide the confidence and certainty that job creators are looking for. There's plenty of money in the system. Private business has money. A lot of individuals who want to invest in this country have money, and they're on the sidelines because they are not confident in the future. And what we've got to do is address the things that will give them confidence. And another short-term stimulus like the first one is not going to do the trick.
Comparing this to the stimulus, but Democrats saying this is a modest plan in comparison. Is there any room for compromise here, or are you just saying flat out you're not going to support this Jobs Act?
Well, again, there are a lot of different components of what the president talked about. And I'll just say this. On the things where we agree, whether it be individual and business tax reform, for example, hey, I'm all in, and I'm happy to work with the president on that. And I think the areas where we agree, we ought to seize on them and act immediately. But I'll just say this: for anyone to say that a $500 billion stimulus is just a small package, or whatever the language they use, is just that's nonsense. The last stimulus package was about $800 billion, which $750 billion. And in the end, the average job that it created or saved cost over $300,000. Well, if you would have just given me a checkbook, I could have written people checks for a lot cheaper than that per job, and we would have created a lot more. Look, unemployment has gone up since the first stimulus, and more of that is not the answer to what ails us.
All right, well, we appreciate your comments this morning. Congressman Tim Griffin joining us from Washington, D.C. at the Capitol right now on the heels of the president's speech. We appreciate your input this morning, Congressman. Well, still ahead, the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks is approaching. See how students at Harding